The brain. 5 facts about the brain. The human brain is the largest brain of all vertebrates relative to body size. The brain makes up about 2% of a human's body weight. The brain weighs about 3.3 pounds. The brain contains about 86 million nerve cells called gray matter. The brain is the center of the human nervous system, controlling our thoughts, movements, memories, and decisions. The neuron. The neuron is a specialized cell transmitting nerve impulses, a nerve cell. Here's a video containing more information on the neuron.
In this installment, I will discuss the neuron. This is a brain. Estimates vary, but right now the best guess seems to be that our brains contain around 85 billion neurons. The neuron is a nerve cell, and it's the primary functional unit of the nervous system. This is a generic image of a neuron. Neurons actually come in all shapes and sizes, but this is the prototypical version of a neuron that you'll often see in a textbook. The structures extending from the left side of the neuron that look a little bit like tree branches are called dendrites. Dendrites are the area where neurons receive most of their information. There are receptors on dendrites that are designed to pick up signals from other neurons that come in the form of chemicals called neurotransmitters. Those signals picked up by dendrites cause electrical changes in a neuron that are interpreted in an area called the soma, or the cell body. The soma contains the nucleus, which contains the DNA, or genetic material of the cell. The soma takes all the information from the dendrites and puts it together in an area called the axon hillock. If the signal coming from the dendrites is strong enough, then a signal is sent to the next part of the neuron, which is called the axon. At this point, the signal is called an action potential. The action potential travels down the axon, which is covered with myelin, an insulatory material that helps to prevent the signal from degrading. The last step for the action potential is the axon terminals, also known as synaptic buttons. When the signal reaches the axon terminals, it can cause the release of neurotransmitter. These purple structures represent the dendrites of another neuron. When a neurotransmitter is released from axon terminals, it interacts with receptors on the dendrites of the next neuron, and then the process repeats with the next neuron.
Rate of neuron growth during development of a fetus is about 250,000 neurons a minute. There are as many neurons in the human brain as stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The diameter of a neuron is 4 to 100 microns. Parts of the brain. The cerebrum. The cerebrum, which makes up 75% of the brain by volume and 85% by weight, is divided by a large groove known as a longitudinal fissure into 2 distinct hemispheres. The left and right hemispheres are linked by a large bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum, and also by other smaller connections called commissures. The cerebellum plays an important role in balance and motor control, but is also involved in some cognitive functions such as attention, language, emotional functions such as regulating fear and pleasure responses, and in the processing of procedural memories. The brainstem, which includes the medulla of the pons and the midbrain, controls breathing, digestion, heart rate, and other automatic processes, as well as connecting the brain with the spinal cord and the rest of the body. All about the brain. The frontal lobe controls motor control, speech, concentration, planning, problem solving, and smell. The parietal lobe controls touch, pressure, taste, and body awareness. Temporal lobe controls hearing and facial recognition. The occipital lobe controls vision. The cerebellum lobe also controls coordination. The left hemisphere is the logical brain and controls the right side of the body. Meanwhile, the right hemisphere is the creative brain and controls the left part of the body. In conclusion, the brain has over 100 billion neurons and it is very important to our body.